Hey y'all, it's Cass here. Okay, so I get so many questions on how I actually do my hair from start to finish. So my hair is completely wet. It's a little air dried up here just because I was playing with my baby until I gave her some resting time. But I want to show you what I do. So I already have a totally kind of space that I was going to be blow drying with you guys today. So I already sprayed this in my hair. I absolutely love this. So this is Aveda. Aveda is one of my favorite lines. This is called Speed of Light. It's a blow dry accelerator. It's really lightweight on the hair and I absolutely love the smell of Aveda products. So I put that literally all over in sections. And then the second thing that I use is the Oribe Royal Blowout. So I use this sparingly, one, just because it is pricey. So I just kind of do like a few spritz underneath like that. And then I do it on top like that. And then just kind of like one on each side in the front. And then looking for my brush, I just kind of comb all of that through. Okay. So next I blow dry my hair. So I do tip my head over sometimes just to go really super fast, but I want to show you a trick that's going to get you volume at the top and leave it smooth and more like tapered in at the bottom. Because if you tip your head over, what's going to happen is that you're going to get volume here. And you'll get volume here at the scalp, but you'll get mostly volume here at the sides, especially if you have short hair. So the trick to blow drying your hair is to use a brush and go the opposite direction like this on both sides to get the top dry. And then I'll just show you. So I use a vented brush like this because it's going to go through and it's going to dry your hair faster. So see how I'm going the opposite direction, and this is key if you have like a lot, anywhere from like here and shorter. Brush a lot, but if you're not like coordinated to use your brush, you can totally just use your fingers too, and just kind of use your fingers like as a column. And then when you notice that it's dry at the scalp, just flip it over and go the opposite direction. So again, this is giving you volume at the base so that everything else is going to be smooth and you won't have like a triangle head. And then you just kind of dry the rest of it. Down. So this is where the vented brush, comes in really handy. See all that volume that you have up there? And then it's smooth. So where the vented brush comes in really handy, you can do this, but the air flows through the hair and out the back side of the brush, allowing your hair to dry a lot faster. And we all went fast, right? So I get my hair a big round brush. Because I'm gonna curl it. If I was not curling it, I would probably round brush my hair. Instead of doing this with the vented brush, I would have gone straight into round brushing it, but since I'm curling it, I just want a little bit of volume on the ends, but I want to seal it all. I just take my hair and probably 3 sections I'm going to do. I love these clips. These are the blow dry bar clips. See, look at that volume. Isn't that crazy? Just from doing that different direction. Now I use a really, really big round brush. And if you're not great at round brushing, totally just skip this step. But if you want your curls to last long, then you want to seal your hair. Round brushing at first is going to give you more length with your style, more days. See how that just seals my ends? And then that way when I curl it, I can leave the ends out, but they're still gonna look pretty. And again, because I'm curling this, it doesn't have to look super pretty. So the trick to getting that curl, I'll show you on the next part. Let's just drop all of it down. So the trick to getting that is to heat up your hair. Sorry, I have to do another section. Heat up your hair on the brush and open up that cuticle to the hair strand and get it hot with the blow dryer. Don't burn your hair. Make sure you have a thermal protectant on. But heat it up and get the bend in your hair. And then let it cool down. You can use the cool setting on your hairdryer if you want to, or you can just let it cool on its own. And see how it just gets that bend, because you're allowing it to, the cuticle to close. So you heat it up, it's just like your pores on your skin. You heat it up to open everything, and then you cool it down to close it, and it will seal in your style. So that's why a lot of times, like if you remember like our grandmas, they used to use Velcro rollers and stuff, so they would put those in their hair hot, and then they would keep the Velcro roller in their hair and let it cool, And what that did is it held the style in. So think of your round brush as your Velcro curler. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Such a good trick. And you can see I'm just kind of grabbing random pieces now at this point. You don't need to like make it look pretty as you're going through. Just grab the pieces that need to be styled. All right, so here it is. We're gonna heat this bad boy up. We're gonna seal it in. Let that cuticle bond close. Voila! So now this is all coming in towards my face. If you wanted it to go back, like away, and kind of go that direction, what I do is just take it all like this. And I do the volume here. And that way it'll go away from my face and open everything up. Now see the difference? So your volume is going more back. And I just do this on the whole top section of my hair. Okay, so that's it for blow drying. Now again, you don't have to go through all of that round brushing if you don't want to, if you know you're gonna be curling it, but like I said, your curls are gonna last, I'm stuck. Your curls are gonna last a lot longer if you have a really good base to your hair. Like if you ever go to the salon, they always style your hair. Oh, I'm still a little wet back there. They're always going to style your hair first before they curl it. Sorry, I'm still a little wet. Okay. Now I have crazy curly sideburns that love to do their own thing. So I shared this tip with y'all before, but I'm just gonna do it real quick. I'm gonna let my curling iron heat up. You can see like how these just kind of have their own little mind of their own right here, and I don't like the way that they look because they won't go into like my curl. So what I do is I actually, this one in particular, so what I like to actually do is flat iron these at the just the very top at the base. Just a little bit. So if you have wavy hair and around your hairline, you can do this. But don't go past the first 2 inches because you don't want to flat iron the area that you want curled. Otherwise the curl either won't curl or it just won't stay. So like on this, see how that does that right there? So what I do is I just do that top part. And now that's gonna give a lot prettier framing around my face with my curl. So this is the curling iron that I absolutely love for just a nice natural curl. So we're gonna let that heat up. I only have one outlet here, so that's kind of annoying for me, but it works. So I don't use a lot of products in my hair because I love being able to run my fingers through it. I love it to be really soft and just really sleek and pretty. But this hairspray and this technique will make your curls last a really super long time. You just have to be careful with how much hairspray you actually use so that it's not stiff and cakey. You want to make sure that you're using an aerosol pump. If you're using like an actual pump like this on a hairspray, don't use that type of hairspray. You're gonna get so sticky and stiff and it's just gonna be more water-based. So you need something that's going to be like that. I probably use a ton of different hairsprays. This is just the one that I'm using right now. I love the Aveda Air Control. I really like, but that one doesn't have like the longest holding power. I like Moroccan oil because it smells so good. Obviously Oribe is awesome. But this is just the one that I have right now and I'm really digging it. I'm kind of liking it. So while that curling iron's finishing heating up, my label's coming off, but this is the Aveda Hair Potion Pure Abundance. So the Pure Abundance line is a volumizing line, and this is a powder that turns into a pomade when it hits the heat of your scalp. So you're just gonna dust it on, and a little bit goes such a long way. I love this for pixie cuts. Oh, it looks like I have short hair right now. I love it for pixie cuts too. But see how that just dusts? I don't even know if you can see that, but I just dust this probably from like this section a little bit above my temple and up, because that's just where I want like some good volume. And I just kind of do it in sections as long as I'm not doubling up. And then this I will not need to use this again for the next couple of days. Just a good dry shampoo will be perfect. If you have dry shampoo, you can do it on the first day so that you're not drying out your scalp. That's a good little tip, but I'm out of my dry shampoo right now. Usually I really like the Monat dry shampoo actually. Okay, so we're gonna start curling now that we have the hair potion in. This is what I do to get my curl to last the longest. I spray my entire hair first, and it feels really stiff and gross right now, but you can use your vented airbrush or just a boar bristle brush too, and I just comb through to get rid of that stiffness and that stickiness. And now my hair is smooth again, and now I will section. I don't always section my hair when I curl it, but for this particular curling style, I do, because it does last a really long time. If I'm in a rush though, I will not section it. I will just go through and curl it randomly. I have some other IGTVs on that type of technique as well, but this is the one that I use here. So on this bottom section, I always season the hair and heat it up, just like I was talking about with the round brushing, and get it hot to open up that hair shaft. And I leave that much out. And then I just start unraveling it and then pull down. Now my next one on the bottom row, I'm gonna go the opposite direction. so that it has a nice like beachy wave to it and it doesn't all flow in to each other. And with this curling iron, another reason why I'm obsessed with it, you can see like my natural wave up there at the base. What was I saying? Oh, you don't have to hold your hair in it for very long. And then this next one, I'm gonna go towards me. Sometimes I forget to season it, which is totally fine. And then see, I have that little bit that's lasted out. Now you'll notice I'm not running my fingers through it quite yet. I'm letting it cool down first before I do anything. Now I'm gonna go to my next section and I go to just above my temples and I kind of leave this clipped up a little loose because I don't want too many creases there, but I just grab it here and then pull it forward. And then for this one, I do 2 curls away from my face and then 1 curl the opposite direction. So the bottom row I do alternating, and then at this point I do 2 to 1. And if you want to, you can give your hair just a little spritz if you think you need it, because at the end we will like run our fingers through it. So this one I'm gonna go towards me. And this one away from me. And sometimes I'll just pick up, I'll just go through if I notice like there's a couple of shorter pieces that I want to separate so that the curls just look a little bit different and softer. You'll just kind of get a feel for what you need around your face. And then, like I said, just kind of drop that out and pull down. So if you don't want it to be as perfect of a curl, I definitely do recommend pulling the curling iron. And I'll kind of alternate just so each curl doesn't look the same. So I'll do it on this one and I'll show you. And just kind of pumping this to pull will be your best friend. So see how I just kind of pulled down on that? And it will make it like a looser curl into more of a wave. Because again, I like it to all look the same and like the same person did it, but I don't like it to look perfect. We don't live in a perfect world. Leave the perfect date for your wedding day. Okay, now on this top section, I just kind of let everything down. And this is where I kind of start to just run my fingers through everything. And a little trick to doing this front piece so that you have some awesome volume is take your curl, okay, and hold it out in front of you, season her up, but do your curl like right in front of your nose, like this, and then pull down. And see how that just like right there gives just like the cutest little curl, like bounciness. Look at that, isn't that so cute? Now in the top section, I pretty much do every single piece away from my face, just because I like the way that it looks up at the top. And so sometimes I will take like, see how this piece right here, I'm gonna take the bottom half of it, of that section, and I'm gonna do that piece towards my face. But I'm not gonna go up very high, and I'm gonna leave that super loose, and then the piece that's on top of it, but in the same section, I'm gonna go away from my face. And I don't mind if the top sections are a little bit longer, just because I don't want a ton of curl up at the top. I want to leave that like from the round brush volume. Now here, I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to take this top section away, and I'm going to curl this piece towards me. Now I have no idea what the back of my hair looks like. I typically don't ever look at the back of my hair, and that's why I part it kind of in the middle and just pull it over my shoulder. And then at the very end, I'll check it with a mirror and grab any missing pieces and then just randomly curl them. You pretty much will be able to see and tell where your pieces are that you need to have curled. Now this is just, if you're new to this, give yourself grace and give yourself time, because I've been doing this for a really long time. Hairstylist before my daughters were born, and then just loving this hairstyle, and so I do it a lot. So the more that you do it, the easier and more natural it's going to be for you. And if you see steam coming up off of your curling iron, don't worry, that's just the product. It's not your actual hair. So see how I separated that top section away? And now I'm gonna go back and do it the opposite direction. Okay, then I just kind of go through and I look just to make sure I don't see any straight pieces. And I don't think there are any, but I'm gonna check. See? Totally missed one. And then I'll check it again just to make sure that I like the direction that all of the curls are going. But like this one, I'm not really digging this one. So I'm gonna take this one and separate it and do it a little bit higher and do it the opposite direction. There, I like that so much better. Okay, so when that is all said and done, I just kind of open it up a little bit and just tussle it with my fingers. And this is the texture spray that I have and I'm really liking is the IDK. And again, I like my hair softer, so I don't put a ton in, but this helps hold your style. And it's so cute. Just don't breathe it in. See? And that's so cute. So then throughout the days, your curls will kind of change. They'll be a little bit different when you wake up, but ultimately your curls are gonna last doing it this way, and you still have the straight ends, so it's a little bit more on the beachy side. And once you go through, you can kind of alter the pieces if you want, curl a few different ones, different directions, or leave it the same. But I like to shift the pieces kind of around my face a little bit more, just so that they don't look too perfect. Because that's, remember like what I said, I don't like them to look perfect. And then I'll just kind of mess with it. And then I just give it kind of a once over spray. And I'm good to go. I hope you guys can see that. But anyways, that's how I curl for more of like a longevity, something that's gonna last a little bit longer. And then I use this on my pillow when I sleep. So this is just a silk headkerchief, and you can wrap your hair up in it if you want to. You can do like a cute little turban with it if you want. Otherwise, I just lay it over my pillow, and then I flip my hair up and I pull it like up in this direction so that it's not getting all like gross and twisted underneath of me. And that's how I sleep. And then the next day, I typically can just wake up and go for it, and I don't have to do anything. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I want to know if you guys liked that, if you guys want to see more of that, what your thoughts are, what your feedback is, because guess what? I love y'all, and y'all build me and keep me alive and rocking the days out. So I'm here for you.